104.1 KRBE.
Let's go. Good morning.
The Roula and Ryan Show.
With Eric. It's about to get all stupid up in here.
Hey, sleepyhead.
Featuring Special K.
Nobody asked you, Kevin.
And Sam.
You've waited long enough. How the heck do you pronounce this woman's name?
Roula.
Macaroni and cheese hot dog.
Ryan. I am the worst DJ ever with Eric.
We're the champions of the world.
104.1 KRBE.
Good morning.
Houston, Texas. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's Thursday, July the 10th of 2025.
Welcome back.
And I'm back. Thank you very much.
Welcome back.
There
It's
you go.
Roula, Ryan, Eric, and Ahmad. Kevin is out. We've been kind of playing musical chairs here ever since, summer break started. Sam's out still with her bebe. So here I am, back again.
You made it.
Welcome
Hold on.
back.
Let me hand the headphones that I was just fake using. Because we can't hear unless we have headphones. Because I don't know. You go on vacation, you can't find your building card. You can't remember where your building is.
Yeah.
Where do I work? What's the code to get in the door?
Well, if you don't drive for like a week and I come back, I'm like,
That's the weirdest thing. If you are lucky enough to be able to travel out of town, you don't really carry your car keys with you. You
You'll
throw them in a
drive.
suitcase somewhere, and then you arrive at IH or Hobby, and you're like, oh, my God, where are my keys?
oh, yeah.
You
I
start
didn't-
looking frantically.
I've been gone for 2 weeks, and we went to Greece to see family, and I didn't drive for a whole 2 weeks. I never drove when I was in Greece. My husband drove, or my uncle drove, or my brother-in-law drove, or my sister-in-law drove, but I never drove. So yesterday when, it was my first time to wake up, and we got home at 2 a.m. on Wednesday into Thursday, so I didn't come on yesterday. And I was like, okay, I have to go take care of some errands, and it was so weird to be in the car
Hey,
on the driver's side.
you should be wide awake, right?
I should
It'd
be, I
afternoon
guess.
for you.
Yeah, because it's 8 hours
oh,
ahead.
yeah,
so
the
it's
time
2
zone
p.m.
difference.
You missed lunch already?
there. Yeah, I did.
Breakfast?
Actually, lunch is about 2 o'clock in Greece.
Guys, guess what I had for lunch?
What'd you have yesterday?
I'm embarrassed that I did this.
my
Come
God.
on, lay it on me.
Wait,
I went to Kroger.
Yeah?
did you get corn?
There's it's Wednesday, so they have their $5 sushi. It's like a
Okay.
spicy tuna roll with avocado. I love it.
Uh-huh.
But then when I walked by the little warm center thing, they had their fried chicken legs.
Oh,
Little
yeah.
box for $5.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
got that.
So
I
you
went
got sushi
home.
and
I ate the
fried
whole
chicken?
sushi roll and I ate all 5 chicken legs. I'm like, yeah, I went to the gym, I worked out, I got home, and then I got that. I'm like, I'll just eat a couple, one more. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to leave.
Might as well
with
finish
two.
it off.
I know, I'm like,
Drumsticks.
I paid for that one later.
It wasn't wings. It was
really?
drumsticks. How
So,
funny.
I mean, I feel like they're not as big, right, when they're chicken legs.
Well, that's 5 chicken legs. That's a bit of a.
Well, I got that.
amount.
helping.
Basically, that's 2 meals I had as
Oh, my
one.
God.
Yeah?
So
Did you eat again later in the day?
In the evening, I made myself a turkey burger, and I put some feta cheese on it, and
Okay.
put some little pita on it, made like a Greek turkey burger
Oh, look at you.
with some rice
Feeling a little straight.
and green beans.
Wait, you're working out, though.
Yeah, but still, I'm like, I can't believe I just did.
But
Usually,
did
I
you
just eat the
you didn't eat all
sushi.
5 drumsticks in one sitting, though, you said, right?
No,
You had a
it was a-
couple,
no.
and then you went back and grazed them.
Nope, I sat there.
Oh, you said had all
Oh,
5.
really?
I got this the little contraption you have to put your phone on.
Oh, yeah.
I just put my phone there,
Little
watching
tentacle.
TikTok videos, just
You know, I've often
oh my
wondered.
God, what a piece of crap.
No, come on. You're entitled to have a cheat day like that. But, Roula, I was telling the guys over 4th of July, I was able to go back to my hometown. And the one house that I've always thought about for decades is the house that my dad built for us when we lived in the country. I actually went inside of it. And the guy gave me a tour of the house. And it reminded me of TV trays. When I was a little kid, we had these metal TV trays.
Yeah.
Maybe once a month, our parents would let us all sit in front of the TV with TV trays and eat. And I was wondering, do they still make those things? Like, could you, because Eric, your story
Yeah, they
just
have all the time,
reminded
like
me.
wooden ones.
Yeah, the wooden ones I've seen now, but back then it was that flimsy.
That
Tin.
tin type
You could
TV
open
tray.
it and then fold it so it makes it straight.
Yes.
And you could open it and then.
That's exactly what it was. I remember it was like kind of green. We had like green tin with gold swirls on it.
Every grandparent probably has that.
Ugliest thing on
you can buy
earth.
them now, like at Target. They're just like side tables for your couch.
But
They're
Eric,
wood, can
could
do
you
dark
see
wood,
yourself
you can do blonde wood.
with your 5-pack of wings with the TV tray, just watching the tube?
No, I tried not. I learned a long time ago because that's when I was gaining weight because I would watch TV and eat.
Yeah, they say don't eat
So I try not to eat
Don't
while I
watch
watch
TV.
while you're watching TV. Yeah.
But then
Well,
with the
also-
cell phone now, it doesn't matter because I'm
Yeah.
on that thing all the time watching.
Yeah.
And we don't traditionally sit in front of a TV anymore the way you used to back then. You can stand at your kitchen island or your kitchen counter all day long with a phone on a little contraption, and that's how you're watching TV. And you're standing up and eating. I say all the time, I never sit down ever. I can never sit down. Even if I had people come over, I just feel like standing up by my kitchen island and be like, I'll just stand here and eat. It's so weird. This is how we do it now. I thought you were going to say you bought the house.
Well,
Oh, no.
Like, I went to the house, I bought it.
thought about it?
I've already done
Back in
one.
the day, but-
I've done one home renovation. That would be one hell of a renovation.
You're like, okay, my dad built this back in the 70s or
Yeah, it was.
60s or whatever, and you're like, I don't want that
No.
shoddy wiring.
It looked every bit of its age.
Then you realize how small it is. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like I think my house is 2,200 square feet.
Because when you're a
But
little
we had a
kid-
basement, so it felt bigger.
Well, yeah, because the basement's double the house. That's amazing.
Even with the basement, I think this place was like 1,300 square feet or
Rula's
something.
lucky if she wants to just think about her childhood memories. You can just drive to your mom's house.
I know,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is weird because my mom's house looks so small to me now. Like, my kids are like, all of you guys were in this one bathroom? And I was like, yeah, I know. My mom
Yeah, so
wouldn't
you guys
let
are
us use the
spoiled.
shower. Yeah, because here's so crazy. We only had two bathrooms, right? But my mom would not let us use the bathtub shower part of, quote, our bathroom.
That's so
Because
weird.
I was also the guest. If we ever had guests, she didn't want to clean that bathroom, like Tilex and all that.
So there's no half. You didn't have 2.5. If you would have,
No, there was no
if you would
half.
have just had a toilet
And it'd be so
for
much easier.
guests,
We had
then
3 toilets.
you
It
would
was
have
so
been
great.
perfect.
So we had to share the one sink in that first part of the vanity of that bathroom. And then if you wanted to shower, you had to go to my parents' room to shower. And these, quote, primary bathrooms of the 70s are about as big as a broom closet now.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a joke. The one saving grace we did have, I remember, because she'd throw us outside, make us play outside all day on Saturday so that she could, like, get things done. There was, like, we called it the back room, which I guess for some people they'd say it's a garage apartment, but this was not elevated. We didn't have a 2-story anything. It was just, like, if you go out the back door of my mom's house, it's like a concrete little pathway with a cover to this little room. It was literally, we called it the back room. It's connected to the garage, but it's not, you can't walk into the garage from this room. Just there's a solid wall between the garage and this little skinny room. And the skinny room had a tiny shower and a toilet.
Oh, that's
So
good.
when we had these giant Easter parties, as Greeks tend to have, my mom was like, okay, that's the outside guest bathroom. Like, that's where they'll go to the bathroom.
That's good. At least you had
If
that.
this one's busy, there's that one toilet. So I remember a couple times we'd be outside and we're all muddy or sweaty or like little wet pigs. And she'd be like, go to the bathroom in the back room.
See, I've been watching too many these Mindhunter and all these serial killer
Oh, yeah,
shows.
that's such
and
a good
stuff.
show.
So now when you say that, I think of somebody making that like a hidden room.
Oh, they could
to
live
put
in
their
there.
victim in there.
Oh, God, creepy.
That stuff does mess with you. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you one thing about that story when I went back. I had to borrow this bath. I said, I know this is awkward. Can I use your bathroom?
Oh, no, you're one of those
I had
guys?
to use
Oh,
my old
God,
childhood
no.
bathroom,
I
man.
would let my bladder burst before
No,
I
it
asked
was
somebody to use their
bad.
bathroom. I'm
It
like,
was
I'm going
bad.
to, can you tell me where the nearest gas station is? I really have to go
He
to the
was
restaurant.
nice. He was like a 70-year-old
So that's so
guy.
creepy.
He
Some
was,
guy
he was
peeing
super
in
sweet.
there.
He enjoyed
You
the
hope-
Your pee
stories.
sound effect,
You hope
like-
he's peeing.
Yeah,
Oh,
because the
God.
next door neighbor, I met the next door neighbor who was the neighbor when we were little kids. He's like, oh, you're Denny's son. I'm like, yeah. And I remember Carl. He was the next door neighbor. He was missing. You know, he had an artificial ear. I remember that as a kid. And I was like, hey, that guy's ear looks weird. Is that Carl? And
him?
it was him. And he remembered me.
Like, how's
How
an
old was that guy
artificial
now?
ear
Like
work?
80? Yeah,
It was like a kind of like a
clip-on?
Yeah. He had this like ear and you could see like a seam because I guess he was born without an ear.
I don't know if they sewed it on or if they.
No, I think it was clipped on. And, yeah, it was still him. So he talked to the guy and he's like, oh, this is Denny. You know, he built this house. This is his son. He goes, oh, come on in.
Oh, that's-
and that's
that
how
helped you get
that was
in.
my in right there to get into the house. But it was so cool. I wanted to play just a quick listener line call for you guys. Or should we wait?
You can play it.
Yeah, it's just made me feel good today because I was dragging butts.
It's like
this
4
morning.
minutes long, then we can't.
No. It's like just like 40 seconds. Here we go. And this is for you, Eric, and for Ahmad.
Hey guys, I just wanted to leave a comment about the Sausage Fest. I just wanted to say thank you guys for sticking around, and even though it was a skeleton crew, y'all still went with the show, kept us companies in the morning, kept us laughing, got the word out over the floods and how to help victims. So y'all did a really great job. Thank you for keeping the show running, especially you, Ryan. You've been hanging out since the first day that everybody was out. I just really appreciate it. Just wanted to make sure that y'all knew that we're very grateful and thankful for you guys keeping the show going. Going to miss the Sausage Fest, but happy to have Roula back. And again, thanks, guys. I feel like I can't say that enough. y'all have a wonderful day and take care.
I just wanted to say thank you. That made my day.
Thank you.
Nice.
Because I was, I was a little
Were y'all calling
dragging.
it the Sausage Fest, or he
Yeah.
said that on his own?
We once in a while.
we were
I was like,
joking around.
what? There's an event called the Sausage Fest?
But he was happy
What
to
kind
have
of
you
sausage
back.
is there?
I was like, where's this at? Where is this? The new club in Montrose he never knew about?
Yeah.
Sausage Fest.
But welcome
Well,
back.
That's nice. Yeah, it was crazy. It is very hard to make a reentry into your community when you've seen the news of what's been happening in Central Texas and the Hill Country and this devastating flood. I have been glued to the television since I got back because I could not be glued to it when I was overseas. I could only see a little bit of it. And you would think in 2025 with Wi-Fi that you'd be able to see stuff, but nothing was more maddening than me wanting to see things. And it would start the story and it would just freeze and it would circle.
the
I'm
buffering.
like, ugh.
Yeah.
And because this happened on July 4, and remember, I'm 8 hours ahead, so it was my time Friday when I woke up to 77 text messages.
Oh, with everything.
Yeah.
77 text messages of all of my mom thread friends that are talking about the girls at Camp Mystic and the girls in their neighborhood and the families and the families that had gone on vacation and rented RVs for the first time or Airbnbs or college daughters, college sons who were in these houses. And y'all, I don't think in 3 days I've ever gotten this many text messages. I must have had over 200 text messages in 3 days.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're doing the donation drive yet again today. Two
Yeah.
locations, Crime Stoppers at 3001 Main, and then, of course, Typhoon, Texas, right out by Katie Mills Mall. Now, Crime Stoppers...
Why don't we talk more about it when we
Yeah,
come
let's get
back?
back
Because
to it.
I have some
Okay.
other information that I've gathered since I got back that really makes a great point of something that's not on this list of what you can do to help out.
Because I think at Typhoon, Texas yesterday, they couldn't do it.
Yeah,
Because it's
because of
raining.
the weather and stuff. So
Yeah.
today we got
Yeah.
to really make up for it.
Okay, yes.
And the rain is not helping anybody's psyche as it's raining. It just makes you keep remembering how much. So is it going to rain today? I know we're not
No,
meteorologists.
it does
I
not
know
look like
it's
any
weather point.
rain.
Okay, that's good, but still hot
Finally.
and sticky. Hot and sticky as July should be in Houston, Texas. It is 6:12 right now. We'll be right back on the Roula and Ryan Show with.
From Hollywood to H-Town.
Celebrity Scoop on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
104.1 KRBE.
It's brought to you by Taqueria Randas, and just want to give you guys another heads up today between noon and 4. Before we get into Celebrity Scoop, I want to give you an update on the relief efforts for what's going on in the Hill Country with donations and relief. The drop-off location is the Crime Stoppers building. It's Crime Stoppers of Houston. It's at 3001 Main Street. It will be there from noon to 4. There are a lot of things you can donate, like emergency supplies, food and water, cleaning and recovery supplies, which are very important, like masks and bleach and gloves and mops and brooms, personal hygiene products, pet supplies. But another thing that hasn't been talked about that I saw an Instagram reel of someone there in the thick of it saying, you know, all this help is fantastic, and you have to have an organized group to receive the stuff, break it up, put it into categories, and distribute it. And I'm sure they have organizations helping them with that. But the thing this guy particularly was saying is if you are a company that has giant machinery and chainsaws.
That's
and
true. I saw that too.
backhoes.
Someone texted that yesterday too about chainsaws. That's a good point.
Chainsaws are huge because they need people who know how to use them, and they need people to chainsaw through the debris to get to things. And it's so overwhelming. This one man, I don't know what his role was in the military. He was former military. And he was saying, just look at this one scene right here. Just look at this one scene. It's like 50 yards by 30 yards. Like, how do you even get through that? Like, how do you even, I'm looking for people, and how do you even get through that? You have to have chainsaws. You can't just walk through that.
At the moment, though, they're asking residents do not move any of the debris. They say, especially if it's on private property.
Well, I'm not saying go there
until
on
they're
your
given
own.
clearance.
No,
No. I get that. I get that. But they said that they need to check the piles for possible victims. So, and there's also a countywide burn ban there in Kerrville. They don't want anybody moving anything right now until they have completed their searches.
And
Yes.
FFAs are still going strong. I'm getting texts. My daughter with Bridgeland FFA will be with the Cy-Fair ISD FFAs. They put together a gift card campaign we talked about a few days ago. So a lot of the schools are doing that. Are putting the ISDs are putting the gift cards together.
I love
And the
that.
gift cards are for grocery stores or what? Any
everything.
kind of gift card.
They'll take anything.
These
they'll
people
just
have
give
lost
them to
everything.
people. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they don't have any houses anymore.
Yeah, they get nothing.
Wow. Okay, that's fantastic. So
But so there's no more Typhoon Texas we're telling everyone
They're
to
at
go
capacity
to.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, they got everything there. So Crime Stoppers
Great.
is the place to go right now. At 12.
Yeah,
but
3001
today.
Main Street. If you want to drop something off, 3001 Main Street, noon to 4 today. That's the drop-off location of Crime Stoppers of Houston. And we'll continue to talk about, of course, what's been going on in the different stories here in just a few minutes. Let me get to this story because this is so crazy. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt met when they had to do the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith together. And in case you were maybe too young or you didn't pay attention, this is when the divide happened between Team Aniston and Team Jolie, where Brad Pitt was married to Jennifer Aniston when he did the movie with Angelina Jolie. Then they broke up and he went with Angelina Jolie. And I was like, how could you break the heart of America, sweetheart?
About how old were you in 2003?
5.
Yeah, so, and they probably filmed it. They probably filmed it like in 2002. Who
Yeah, oh,
knows?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did it come on 3 or was it 4?
Let me look at the actual date.
Somewhere
Ahmad,
around
do you
there.
know the story of why it was a 2005 movie?
5. Okay, so
Yeah.
in 4 they.
Do you know the story of that split? How America was divided between Aniston and Jolie? Like,
Yeah.
You're either Team Aniston or you're not.
But I remember renting Mr. and Mrs. Smith from Blockbuster, so I was Team Brangelina.
Oh, you were? And then you're like, this movie's not that good.
I know, I actually liked it.
That was fun. I missed those
I
kind
was
of
like
movies.
7 years old. I was like, woo, guns.
That's why Heads of State is kind of like that. It brings you back to the time when it's just fun.
And haven't they made Mr. and Mrs. Smith into a series as well?
Yeah,
They
it's on
have.
Netflix.
With
Yes.
Donald
Glover
Glover.
and the girl from Pin 15. I can't think of her name.
Nice.
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt got married in July of 2000, and they divorced in March of 2005. And that is when the whole thing, he left her for Angelina. So then they dated since 2005 or 4, let's say, whenever they started filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith was started the tryst.
4.
And here we are, 2025.
Still.
2025. They dated longer than they were married. They were only married for 2 years.
Oh, yeah. I forgot they were.
They got married in 2016, so they were together for 11 years, but they got divorced in 2018. The divorce proceedings started in 2018. They ended about a year and a half ago. And the reason this is still not over is because in the course of their marriage, they acquired the Miraval Winery. You've seen this rosé wine on the grocery store shelves.
Yep.
It is everywhere. And the story today is that Brad Pitt is demanding private communications from Angelina in a new filing related to the legal battle over Chateau Miraval. On June the 30th, Brad filed court documents revealing his attempts to depose a person who worked for Stoli Group. This man had firsthand knowledge of Angelina's intent to sell the winery that they formerly co-owned. The reason this is the reason this is a problem, the reason this is a story today is because they had agreed that they would not do anything as far as selling that winery unless they both talked about it and agreed to sell it. So this guy apparently had communication with Angelina about selling it because Angelina sold it.
She
out
saw
from
her
under
half
Brad.
or all of it?
She remember the story originally was that she sold the whole thing.
man.
Then it was like, no, he got his piece of it and he had to fight for his piece. It's just this craziness because that thing makes like $400 million a year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So they're not fighting over beans.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? I mean, they are rich
That's huge
people
corporate.
fighting over massive money.
Yeah.
So that's the latest story there.
What's the lesson we take from this? Don't go into business with your spouse. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, if, God forbid, you guys get divorced.
It's
What a
funny how Brad-
nightmare.
You know how rich he is now, but it's like some on a podcast because obviously he's doing podcast shows and junkets and stuff for his F1 movie. But he was talking about before the movie 7 came out. Mm-hmm. Like he's like, I don't know where my career is going to go. He would just wake up and watch the OJ trial, smoke weed, and just like he was like lost. He's like, I'm trying to think what he had in between there. I know Thelma Louise put him on.
What was the one with Juliette Lewis where they were killers? California. With
Oh,
a K?
that was Natural Born Killers.
No,
No,
wasn't it California. With a K?
Oh, California.
David Duchovny,
Yeah.
I think, was in it.
Juliette Lewis, because that was his girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
So something happened. Then he met David Fincher.
Okay.
Is he the one? Yeah, he did 7. He did Mindhunter.
Okay.
That's how I got in that whole thing.
Such a good show, yeah.
But he's like, I met the guy, and at first I'm like, it's basically I'm gonna be a cop, and the older black guy is gonna retire. He's like, this is like Lethal Weapon.
It is,
He's
if you
like,
think
he's
about
like,
it.
I don't want to do it, but then he met.
I'm too old for
he
this
met
ish.
him, and
That's
he talked to
funny.
him and told him about how much they love movies, and he did it. And that's what put him out that next level.
Wow.
Well,
he is
what-
worth, by the way, Brad Pitt, $594 million.
Yeah. So before then, he wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the thing that put him on the map was in the movie Thelma and Louise. I mean, he was the
Yeah, but
hot
I mean, it made him
hitchhiker.
made him hot though, like the
That's
hot
what made
guy. But he
him-
never got like a big role. He did Interview with the Vampire, right?
He was
True.
big in that. I never watched it. I know
Interview with
he
the Vampire.
in
It was Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and Kirsten
yeah.
Dunst.
I just can't remember what year that was.
94.
94.
Yeah,
Wow.
so right then, even though he was doing that, he felt like he wasn't. He just felt like he's like, oh,
Well,
gee,
and
something
also-
happened. Something else happened. He said.
What about the one where he's Tristan, the hot guy with the long hair? What's the movie?
Yeah, The
with
River
three
Runs Through
brothers?
It, or-
No, that's the other one. Oh my God, what's wrong with me?
The one with Anthony
It's gonna
Hopkins.
drive me crazy. Yes, it's gonna drive me crazy. Oh God, hold on, I
He
gotta
fell-
look it up.
He slept with the brother.
Julia
Right?
A river
Ormond.
runs through it.
Yes, but that's not it. Julia Ormond.
Meet Joe Black?
No.
Legends of the
Elliot
Fall.
from
Yeah,
E.T.
Legends of the Fall.
Legends
Yeah,
of
what
the
year was that
Fall.
one?
That's what put
94.
him. Yes, that is where like, oh
Which
my
is so
God,
weird
Tristan.
because he's acting like I just didn't know what my career was going to go.
That's so crazy. He had so many hits
That's what I thought.
like River Runs Through It, Legends of the Fall, Interview with the
Maybe he was-
Vampire,
maybe-
California.
Because none of those are really guy flicks. Maybe he was hoping to be.
Some action hero or something.
Well, he corrected that because then he did Inglourious Bastards. He did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Quentin
He's done,
stuff. If he
he's
ever-
done all the guy type movies.
But he's never
too.
done like a real hero movie, has he? You know,
not
like,
like
a
a
Bruce
comic
Willis.
book.
You know what I mean? Like a.
Oh, like a Die Hard.
I guess technically Bullet Train.
Yeah, I guess that was like his.
Or what about
Oh,
the
that was
Mexican?
fun.
What about the Mexican with Julia Roberts and James Gandolfini?
That was more of a comedy and stuff,
Yeah,
and he
it
was
was a
like,
dark
wasn't he like
comedy.
a bumbling fool or something?
No, in that one,
Like,
it was,
they just-
James Gandolfini, who usually plays a killer mobster, who was kind of like this guy that you don't. I mean, he had a great role in that.
He did play
a
a lot of bumbling
remember.
fools. Was it Burn Before Read Before Burning or
Yeah.
Burn Before Reading or something like that? What was it called?
Burn After.
Burn After Reading, yeah.
And what's the one that he's a meme on your iPhone? If you go into hashtag images, he's a meme where he's doing that dance.
Yeah, I think that's that movie
Is
there.
that from the
'cause-
movie Burn After Reading?
Yeah, because he was
Yeah.
like an.
Or like the gold.
He was like
nuggets
a
or something.
gym
The
instructor
fitness
or
instructor,
something,
yeah.
fitness instructor.
Was he in Goldbergs? No, not Goldbergs. What's the not Goldbergs? That's an ABC series. The one that Ben Stiller's in. Gold.
Oh, Meet the
something?
Parent? No. Hmm.
You'll know what I'm talking about. He was wearing like an Adidas tracksuit, and Ben Stiller's in it. Okay.
Oh,
obviously
you're
he's-
thinking of the Royal Tenenbaums.
Bombs.
the
No,
Royal Tenenbaums.
that was
Thank you.
Luke Wilson.
Yeah, he
Okay.
wasn't in that.
I don't know. Like the Brad Pitt filmography there.
But it's one of those guys where he's done a lot of stuff, but then I'm like,
Yeah.
I really wouldn't put him up. Like, we do that bit where we rank actors or we rank movies.
versus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Tom Hanks. Like I put his top 10 against Brad Pitt's top 3. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like Brad Pitt's movies aren't that great.
Oh, he's
For
done
me.
quite a bit. Yeah.
Like Ocean's 11, I liked it and stuff. But
Yeah, that was
like
just
Brad Pitt
him.
doesn't make me want to go see a movie.
No.
I mean, I
If
guess
you think
no,
about the
because
movies,
really
like I
think
like
about it,
Seven, I
like-
like Seven and stuff, but it wasn't because of him. It was Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, it was
And
an
well, also think
ensemble.
about this. Troy was
wasn't him
absolutely
either, but
promoted
he was
like
good.
it was him.
Yeah.
Troy was 100% promoted. Brad Pitt in Troy. There was also Eric Bana, and it was Orlando Bloom, and it was all these people, but really it was him. And I don't know if that one hit the way it.
I just don't know if he's.
supposed
I
to.
mean, I say that I don't know if he's box office, but then F1 just destroyed everything, and
No, also look at the subject matter too.
Yeah, it's also
That's huge.
Yeah, people love F1.
Yeah, we were overseas, and my husband's like, F1's out, but I don't think we can see on the plane yet. I can't wait to see F1. My husband loves Formula One. Okay, I want to also give a special shout out to one of our texters. Oh my gosh, you guys text us so much. Oh, this person says, thank y'all so much for all your help. I live and work in Kerrville. I have been listening to y'all every morning for many years because you keep me connected to my hometown of Houston, which is fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm glad we're bringing a little bit of comfort and relief. And coming up next, I have something that I found, a friend post that I thought was so perfect when it comes to you getting chills and being shaken to the core over what's happened in Kerrville, Kerr County, Central Texas, Camp Mystic, all those RVs, all those homes, and you think of people's final moments and it shakes you to the core in tragedy and you're so sad and you just don't want to think about it. Somebody posted something that I think will bring your heart a little bit of comfort and peace. And I want to share that coming up next on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric. Good morning.
With Eric.
And I'm back from my vacation, visiting family in Greece I hadn't seen in 3 years. So I'm back. Ryan's here, Eric's here, Ahmad's here.
Morning.
Kevin's out on his vacation. Sam's out with baby number 2.
Slowly but surely, all coming back
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, but the summer, that's the time you take off, and that's the time you find some, family time. And that's why so many people over 4th of July are always gone. They're going to go do their thing. They get an Airbnb somewhere, or they fly away, far away, or they stay close to home, or they do a staycation.
Yeah, you go camping.
Go camping.
And that's why everything last week was so much like the worst timing you could get.
Yeah. I mean,
Not
right
just the
now.
camps, but with all the people. I see all the videos now on
when the flood
on
came.
social media just showing all the tents out there, just right there by the river.
There's a guy on Reels who's a meteorologist. I think, I don't know if he's in like Canada or where he was, and he was talking about Niagara Falls, and it's like 2 days worth of Niagara Falls water fell on Kerr County that night. Just like when Harvey came here and it just parked itself over us and it slowly just flooded most of our listening area. This was the most terrifying thing to me reading about this. For those that are just tuning in right now versus 6 o'clock when we started the show, I was overseas and I'm 8 hours ahead of y'all. And when I woke up to 77 text messages about all these kids at the camp and the neighborhood friends and the school friends who know somebody that's missing, or I was like, what is going on? You know, people over there, they have their own news stories to report, but this made the news in Greece.
Did.
Because my cousin on my last day before we flew out said, what happened to those little kids in Texas? I saw, is that near Houston? When Harvey happened to us, right? We've lived through that. We know how unimaginable it can be, but this is worse than that.
Oh yeah.
Because the amount of loss and missing.
Nobody knew it was coming like that.
And it was the middle of the night, like the flood rush. I know there are a lot of Harvey victims here. I have personal friends who woke up to water up to next to their beds. And that was like, 2 feet? But these people, woke up to a rush higher than their doors, busting in their doors. So it's just been so tragic. And every day there's another story that makes your heart just ache so much. And there is so much loss. And within the loss, there are heroic stories. There are miracle stories. There was a mom on CNN yesterday. Her daughters were miraculously saved. And, there's so much to come in this wave of grief, because now you're going to have survivor's guilt, or you're going to have a total shift in the social circle of your life if your child made it and that person's child didn't.
Yep.
It's just, there's a lot coming.
You lose your best friend.
Right. You lost your best friend. And the other thing, guys, one of my personal friends, one of the little girls that is still missing, her daughter received a letter from that little girl on Sunday. Oh. Because Thursday they do the camp letters and they go out. So that first only wave of letters had already come to the parents' homes, and to the friends' homes. And that's just so much more.
I mean, right now, there's still 161 people missing.
But they get those letters on Monday, or I think it was Monday, right? Because that's when
she got her letter on Sunday. So anyway, one of my friends that I just think is so fantastic, and one of these people, you all meet people, somebody in your life that's just always so centered and always has the right thing to say. She posted this and she gave the name, and I looked up the name. I was like, did she write this herself, or who is Donna Ashworth? Is this an author? Who is this? Donna Ashworth is an author and a poet. And she wrote this very short little, it's not even a poem because it doesn't rhyme, but she wrote this little small thing years ago about angels. And I think the hardest part about what happened, especially at Camp Mystic with those little girls, is that you don't want to know your loved one was scared, terrified, or suffering in their final moments. Even with cancer, you get the worst cancer diagnosis and the end is coming. You want them to be comfortable. If it's a loved one in the hospital, they just want them comfortable. Hospice exists because you want comfort.
You don't want them in pain, suffer.
And in moments like this where we can't make sense of why did this have to happen, and why did these little kids have to lose their lives, and how scared were they in those final moments, and what was happening, and where were they, and that's the worst part. We're thinking it was nothing but terror in the end. And then I read this, and it kind of gave my mama heart a little bit of comfort, and I want to share it with everybody to maybe give them a little comfort. And it goes like this. It's called Angels, and it says, I like to think that angels pull souls from their bodies before pain and tragedy strike, wrapping them in their loving arms, pressing their eyes and ears against a soft wing so they see no evil, they hear no evil, and they know no earthly suffering. Only love, only safety, only peace. I think no matter how they leave us, they are protected as they go. And while I cannot give you proof, just like I cannot show you the invisible power that is hope or love, I feel it to be true. Just like I know that people live on, that love lives on, long after the angels lift us up and take us home. I thought that was really good.
Yeah. It was good.
Because I hope that's true.
Yeah.
I really hope that's true, that as shocking and crazy as those last moments were, that is true, because nobody wants to know somebody went out like in fear. And it's unavoidable, because you wake up in the middle of the night to rain and floods. Anyway, it's just to every person that's been touched. I came home. I felt like when I was flying home from this long vacation, I was coming home for a funeral. Like, have you ever lost somebody who lives in another town and you have to fly to their funeral? I knew that I was so happy to be home. We were just kind of ready to be home. I mean, there's nothing like home, right? But all the green ribbons on the trees. They're really not ribbons, I came to find out. We went out yesterday to try and find some, put them on our trees. They're sold out everywhere.
Yep.
But it's not really ribbons. It's plastic tablecloth covers. Like even the dollar store was sold out. It's just a very simple, cheap plastic tablecloths. That's what you wrap around your trees. They're sold out. So Tasso ordered some from Amazon. We'll get them on Thursday. On Friday, because today's Thursday, right? Yeah. So yeah, they're sold out. But you see a lot of green ribbons wrapped around the trees for all those lost in Kerr County and Camp Mystic. And I first heard of Camp Mystic when I was like in the 9th grade. There was a girl in my class that was raised there, and then I met people in college who grew up there, and then there was a girl that worked at my daughter's school as an aide, like a student aide, and she's one of the counselors that's missing. She's from Bubble Inn, the one where all the kids passed away, and Catherine Ferruzzo. They don't know where she is, and it's hit us so hard personally, and I just don't even know how to make sense of it. And I just want every person that's been affected by it to know that our hearts are bleeding for you. When one mom cries, every other mom cries. When one parent cries, another parent cries. It's not just about moms versus dads versus aunts and uncles, but there's something different about going to your little girl's room and knowing the bed's never going to be unmade again. And Elizabeth Elder has been on this show. She started Steel Magnolia Moms, and it is a group for moms who have kids of special needs. She lost her daughter Annabelle after her 11th birthday, and she posted the most amazing thing to the mothers right now who are living through the fact that they will never have their little girls back. And if you go to @Radio you will see the repost and you click it. And I can't say it in more perfect words because she's lived it and we haven't.
Yeah,
she's gone to Annabelle's room where Annabelle's ribbons are there and all the things that little girls love, and they're just not going to ever move, right? So if you have a mom in your circle who's lost her daughter, I think 100% you should follow Elizabeth Elder and Steel Magnolia Moms on Instagram, because that name is perfect for them. Steel Magnolia Moms. She wrote the most perfect thing. It's very long. I don't want to read the whole thing, but it 100% brings you comfort because she's coming from a place where she herself has lost her little girl and she lives with it every day.
And yesterday, we were talking was it yesterday or maybe 2 days ago, somebody called us, we were talking with them, and they're just saying, because what do you say to people? And they just said, you listen. You listen and be on standby.
Yeah.
Let them know you're there for them and be there for them.
That's all you can.
And remember, be there for them down the road, too.
Yeah. Not just right now.
Not the first 4 weeks, 6 weeks. But 3 months down the
6
road.
months.
That's the important thing.
Because they're going to have to go through the first.
Yeah, the first
birthday, first Christmas, first Halloween without their kids or their loved ones. People who are missing parents. And it's terrible. Like my nephew's roommate, his sister was missing. And the last person that's she and her 3 friends went to the river, 4th of July. Hey, my friend's dad has my friend's parents have a house there.
Mm-hmm.
4 of y'all college kids, or y'all going to go stay there? And she was on the phone with the owner of the house, which was the dad of the friend. And the phone cut off when she was talking. And she was found under 3 feet of debris in that house.
Oh, God.
Days later.
In the house.
Like in the house, like days later. Because I remember I got that text the first day I got it when we were in one family member's house in Greece, and then when my nephew texted the update, they found her under 3 feet of debris in the very house that she was calling from. That was, I feel like 4. How many days has it been, guys? Has it been a week yet?
Yeah, Friday.
It'll be a week on Friday. Yeah. So I think they
tomorrow,
found her 4 days after in the house. So it's just, we're going to get more and more of these stories, and
that's why today's the last day for us at Crime Stoppers.
Crime Stoppers, you want to show up today? It's 3001 Main Street. We are looking for everything from cleaning and recovery supplies, bottled water, baby formula, personal hygiene, emergency supplies, pet supplies. Y'all have done a bang-up job. We did it for the first 3 days.
Tuesday,
Typhoon,
Wednesday,
Texas as well. We're done there. They've
increase the capacity of supply.
Yes.
So focus on the Crime Stoppers of Houston building at 3001 Main today from noon to 4 if you want to drop something off, really of anything. Pet supplies, emergency supplies like batteries, flashlights, tarps, gloves, mops, brooms, paper towels, disinfectant wipes, personal hygiene care that you would need because everybody lost everything. So think of all the things that you need: deodorant and shampoo and conditioner and soap and sponges, socks. Yeah, I think socks and things like that, like things you need to wear. I mean,
things you just don't think about. And lots of bug spray.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the bug spray. Yeah. crazy. Mosquitoes right now, everything.
Yep.
So thank you so much for all your texts. And the name of the author, by the way, people were asking me, what was that author's name? It's Donna Ashworth. Donna Ashworth. And what she wrote was called Angels by Donna Ashworth. I can post it on my Instagram at Radio Roula. I'll repost it and we can see it there. Okay, coming up next, if you have questions in your relationship, we're always here to help stand by you and get you some answers where you don't think you can find them. We're going to help somebody else find out if their mate is a cheater.